Alright, this morning we're going to multiply and divide rational expressions. So start off with our notes. Let's remind ourselves rational expression is a ratio of two polynomial expressions. Okay, so we need to go through the steps. We need to simplify, so factor everything that can be factored first. Simplify the monomials. Eliminate common binomial factors. Remember, in this case, we aren't graphing anything, so we're not worried about holes or anything like that, but we could graph these. So let's look at this first example. We need to simplify this. So I need to know what goes into 20 and 14 evenly, and cancel out everything that goes in there evenly. So for 20, we have 2 times 2, which is 4 times 5. I'm just breaking it all out. And then we have x to the 6th power, and then we're dividing that by 2 times 7 times x squared. So the 2's here cancel out. So what I'm left with is 10. And then the x here subtracts 2 from the x to the 6th, so that's x to the 4th over 7. So this is like what we've been doing, simplifying monomials. Alright, so now, example number 2, we need to factor. Remember, this is, we got to take out our common first. Our common is going to be 6. And remember, always look for that GCF. So we're going to have 6, and then it's going to be k minus 6 divided by k minus 6. Remember, if they are grouped together, plus and minus signs act like glue. So that cancels out the k minus 6 on both of those. All right, scroll down and take a look at number 3 here. Okay, so with number 3, we need to factor that denominator. Nothing can be factored in the numerator, so that stays the same. Y plus 8. And now in the denominator, we need two numbers that multiply to make 48, but have a difference of 2. So if you remember, we can take 48 to the side, and we can list all the factors of 48. 1, 48, you know that doesn't work. 2 and 24. Okay, and then we could do 3, and this is going to be 16. And 4 and 12. Still not the difference of 2. 5 doesn't go in. 3 and 2 goes in. So 6 goes in. That's going to be 6 and 8, which gives us our difference of 2. Larger number gets the sign in the middle, so it's going to be 8. So this is going to be minus 6. So what we have is y minus 6, y plus 8. So the y plus 8's cancel out, and you're left with 1 over y minus 6. And that is simplified. Okay. So common factor in the numerator. Definitely want to take out our common factors first. So this is going to be 2, which is our common. That's going to leave us with r squared minus r plus, minus 20. So we got to go minus 20 there. Minus 20. Common factor of 8. That leaves me with r plus 4. Alright, so we could definitely simplify 2 over 8. But we also need to go ahead and factor this. So this is going to be two numbers. It's going to be 4 and 5. So what we have, fully factored, we're going to have 2 And then there's in here it's going to be r plus 4, r minus 5, all over 8, r plus 4. See, r plus 4's cancel. 2 goes into itself one time, goes into 8, 4. So what I am left with is r minus 5 divided by 4. Simplified. Alright, let's move on down, and I'm just going to move through these fairly quickly. Okay, we'll talk about this in a second, but first thing, look for GCF. Okay, nothing common there. So now, okay, we're going to end up with a P minus 7 and a P plus 7. And then down here we have 7 minus P. Okay. Well, it looks close to this, but the numbers are flipped. So the thing I need to multiply or factor out from the denominator is a negative 1. Negative 1 would change the signs on everything and flip it, right? So if I factor out a negative 1, I end up with negative 7, negative, parentheses, P minus 7. So let's go ahead and factor out our negative 1 there. So what I have is P minus 7 times P plus 7 divided by P. We're going to factor out the negative 1. So it's going to be P minus 7. So by factoring out the negative, I flipped them. Okay, they cancel out. So what I'm left with is P plus 7. And we're going to go ahead. It's a negative 1 down here. I'm going to show it as negative 1. That means that this whole thing is negative now. So that means that I'm going to have a negative, and then parentheses, P plus 7. And I can simplify that further by adding or multiplying through by my negative. So it's not quite my final answer, so it's going to be a negative P minus 7. And that will be the final answer. 3A up here, so 3A comes out. So 3A, and then inside the parentheses I'm left with 4A squared minus a 1. Denominator, I have a 6A squared that comes out, 6A squared. And I'm left with a 2A and plus 1. Plus 1. Okay, I can factor this further because a perfect square and a perfect square. So that's going to be a 2A plus 1 and 2A minus 1. So what I have is 3A times 2A minus 1 times a 2A plus 1. And that's all divided by the 6A squared times 2A plus 1. So the 2A's plus 1's cancel out. And that leaves me with 3 over 6, which is 1/2. A cancels, and I have an A in the denominator. So 2A in the denominator. So my final answer is 2A minus 1 over 2A. For my final answer on that.